Hey guys, and welcome to the first lesson on Blender. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how to open Blender and what you're looking at. Nothing too serious, but just enough to let you know somewhat of what's going on. So we're going to double click on this guy here, this orange and blue icon. And a lot of you probably noticed that black and white screen that popped up first. Just going to quickly show you that there's this guy that runs in the background, and what it's for is just it actually runs Blender. There's a lot of background stuff going on for Blender, external files that need to run, that type of thing. So you need to make sure that this guy stays open, or if you shut this by accident, everything shuts down. So I'm just going to open it again. So just make sure that guy stays alone. Now, the first thing you see is when you open Blender is this big grid, and then this square that looks highlighted, and then this green and red arrow. This is actually the default object that Blender gives you to work with. It's actually a cube in 3D. If I hold down the wheel as a button on the mouse and move it around, it allows me to rotate around, so you can actually see what we're looking at here. So this is the default object we get to manipulate, and we'll get into that in the next lesson. But for now, I'm going to describe what these other odd-looking things are. This right here is actually the light that's responsible for, you probably guessed it, the lighting in the scene. It's very important. Lighting is very important in 3D animation. It can make or break the way that your final product is going to look. And it's you'll see further on that it's pretty neat. And then this right here is the camera, and this actually controls the angle and the zoom, that type of thing, of the final product of what everybody sees. To switch between these objects, you right click on them, and the only way that you can switch between objects is you have to be in what's known as, down here in the bottom pane, is object mode. In order to switch modes, you hit these arrows to bring up this dialog box, and you'll see all these modes listed here. You only really need to worry about edit mode and object mode at first. So that's all we're going to be dealing with for a little while. A quick way to switch between modes is actually hit the tab button on the keyboard. Tab, and watch when I tab, it changes these panels down here. These panels change all the time depending on the settings that you're in Blender. You'll get familiar with them at first. They kind of look scary at first, but it's really not that bad. So back up here to the grid. Now that we've kind of messed up our view from the straight on view that we had before, if you want to get back to that, how it works is the right hand side of the keyboard you have your numpad, and if you consider the four corners of your numpad, the different views of your cube, for instance 7 is going to put us back in top view, and if you go down to the bottom left hand corner of the number pad, 1, it's going to put us on one side, and 3 will put us on the other. And if you want to check out what the camera sees, you push 0. And then that will give you what the camera is going to see, what your final product is essentially going to look like. It'll look a lot nicer rendered, but this is what it will look like. So that basically sums up what the basic outlook of Blender, its user interface. Hopefully you're a little bit more familiar with it. It might be a little scary looking at first, but honestly it's not that bad, and it gets really fun from here on out. We're going to dive into the fun bits in the next lesson, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for listening.